Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Taurus August 2019 horoscope forecast part 2 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is, well, as far as August goes, Venus will be in Virgo from the 21st until the 31st, so the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. This could manifest in some cases if you're a sports fanatic, the enjoyment of extrapolation of sports data, projecting stats, if you're into fantasy football perhaps. This could also be about frugal spending, perhaps this time on fifth house related matters such as sports, love, romance, children, things that are enjoyable to you. And if you're unattached at this time, Taurus, you may connect with a Virgo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Virgo characteristics. It could be for a superficial fling. It could be about true love and romance. It could also be as well where you might be expressing, you might be analyzing your sentiments at this time toward somebody you're involved in a romantic relationship. And this could also be about valuing Virgo qualities. I mean, it could be about value or just valuing punctuality, dependability, reliability, analytical ability, consistency, even industry for people that you're in a love romantic relationship with, children, people that you might share a creative endeavor with, something that's very enjoyable to you, a hobby. And also too, looking at this could be about rather frugal spending, perhaps on something of an investment nature or something of a speculative nature if you're in gambling. So anyway, next thing up, Mars will be in Leo as far as August goes from the 1st until the 18th. So the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. And at this time, while situations on the home front may be a little bit more contentious and acrimonious than usual, there might be very loud, boisterous arguments with home family members, people you're close to home with. It could also be about maybe becoming a little bit angry, perhaps at some Leo qualities at the core, such there might be some negative Leo qualities you might be angry at, such as like being domineering or overly loud or boisterous, or even some arrogance that maybe you have at the core that you're maybe becoming more cognizant of now. Could also be about succumbing to some injuries doing activities at home. It could be showing off, doing something, if you're doing like wheelies or something on a bicycle or a moped, or around your home, perhaps I should say, not going to be inside your home, or trying something or trying something at home where you might wind up having some kind of accident. So just be careful as far as that goes. And also this could be about putting that inexorable Leo energy into getting in touch with your roots, your ancestry, and also matters with traditions as well. And also, too, if you're unattached at this time, Taurus, you may connect with a Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Leo traits. It could be for a sexual liaison. You might feel really close to home with that person, and that person might actually eventually figure prominently in that latter part of life if you're not currently in it. So, anyway, the next thing up. Mars will be in Virgo as far as August goes from the 18th until the 31st, so the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now at this time, if you're unattached at this time, Taurus, you may connect with a Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Virgo characteristics. It could be for a romantic connection, a superficial fling in some cases, as somebody you might share some creative endeavor with. It could also be where you might become angry at this time at somebody, an overly persnickety, critical, judgmental, worrisome, even pedantic. Could be a child, it could be a lover, it could be somebody you're involved in some kind of investment with. Could also be at this time as well This could be about putting a lot of hard work and industry actually into things of enjoyment, and even energy into extrapolating sports data, or even just projecting stats as something that could be of anything really. That could be something that could be fun and enjoyable to you at this time. You might be driven to analyze fifth house matters such as sports, children, lovers, maybe things that you may have invested in, and also matters in perhaps trying to attain greater personal popularity. So anyway, next thing up, Jupiter will still be in Sagittarius, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. As I've talked about previously, Jupiter could be rather paradoxical, could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. Now, in a lot of cases, it could enlarge and expand over exuberance, enthusiasm, over optimism, even recklessness. With matters, perhaps if you're in an intimate sexual relationship, a person you're in a shared resources situation with, perhaps even maybe in making some major change or transformation, or even dealing, maybe being over optimistic about dealing with a crisis at hand. Now, could also be about, this could be very auspicious though, for leaving a Sagittarius type legacy, such as somebody that's buoyant, jocular, jovial, optimistic, expansive, being that incorrigible optimist, benevolent, and also could be very fortuitous for an inheritance at this time. But at the same time, again, given that Jupiter could be very paradoxical, this could also manifest in some cases in enlarging perhaps surgical matters, such as something with the liver, the hip, the thigh, sciatic nerve. Could also be about a lot of hope and optimism through benevolence in loans and shared resources, moral, emotional, monetary support, and also very auspicious for maybe making a sports or athletic or even a philosophical religious transformation. It might be the right time at this time to do so if you haven't done so already. Next thing up, Saturn will still be in Capricorn, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, this could manifest in perhaps dealing with restrictions and limitations with in-laws, with grandchildren. Could also be about taking care of a sickly or debilitated grandchild or in-law. It could be something connected with the hamstrings, the bones, the joints, the knees. Might be making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy. Could also be about gaining structure and discipline in higher education, even publishing. It might be a time where you might start to do very regimented, consistent matters with publishing right now. And also about taking responsibilities for 9th house matters, such as in-laws, grandchildren, publishing, religious matters if you're part of a religious congregation. Older people might figure more prominently in your philosophical outlook at this time, maybe your religion, maybe even higher education as well, and even expanding horizons at this time. So anyway, and also this could be about very laborious, consistent efforts in 9th house matters, such as higher education. It could be long distance traveling, and even matters with in-laws, with grandchildren. So anyway, next thing up, Uranus will still be in Taurus, so the 1st house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, this could be about coming across as a little bit more unique, more unorthodox than usual. You might find yourself doing something that really you were reluctant to do previously. This could be about very really surprising new beginnings for you, Taurus. It could also be at this time, another way this can manifest, this could be about Taurus friendships. They might be Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Taurus characteristics might figure more prominently in your outlook on life, your new beginnings. They might be people you knew from your early childhood. You might be also dealing with rather unusual, stubborn, obstinate behavior from people from the early childhood, a grandmother even people that might have been instrumental in new beginnings. Could also be a greater propensity for electric shocks or problems with the nerves or even the shins or the ankles at this time, especially if this is actually hitting your first house in your actual natal chart, even if it conjuncts your sun, because the sun could be at times be about physical issues. Sometimes we're not as much, I don't believe, as the ascendant, but it still could be connected with our vitality and our physical issues. So also, hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, this could be a time where you might value more independence and freedom more so than usual. Also, just guard against lightning as well. I know getting hit by lightning is very minuscule and microscopic, but the proclivity increases a little bit when you're talking about Uranus energy and the first house. Uranus could be very unpredictable and unexpected energy, so just be careful at this time. You might be dealing with more shocking behavior from first house people more so than usual. It could also be about Uranus new beginnings, such as doing in something you might do with persistence, because Taurus is of course blended in this energy. Could be something connected with astrology, astronomy, perhaps aerospace, something with innovation, computers, electronics, even rocket science, even something of a humanitarian nature. Now, Neptune will still be in Pisces, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, you might find at this time that your friends, acquaintances might be dissipating and dissolving. I have this transit going on. It's hitting my intercepted 11th house, and my friends are dissolving like there's no tomorrow. And the difference, I mean, some of you may wonder, well, what's the difference between then like Neptune or Pluto as far as that manifests? Well, Pluto can flat out obliterate, and I think, but with Neptune, and it might be a little quicker with Pluto. In Pluto, it could be more connected with an actual literal death of somebody. But when it's Neptune, it's more of a gradual kind of dissipation, dissolving. You might have contact with somebody once a week, then all of a sudden it's like once every other week, so it's more of a dissolving type energy. Now, the thing also is you might find yourself where your goals and aspirations may be more nebulous and unclear than usual. It might be dealing with deception, duplicity as far as friends go, and putting them perhaps on a pedestal and not really seeing their transgressions or the defaults. But at the same time, this could also manifest in Neptune type goals and aspirations, such as something with poetry, dancing, photography, chemistry, something with pharmaceutical work, anesthesiology, anything that could be even the metaphysical, which includes astrology. But remember, the thing about Neptune energy, though, could be very lethargic, so you might feel more like daydreaming and fantasizing regarding 11th house matters as opposed to actually acting on it, and especially if this is making an adverse aspect to your Sun, your Mars, or your Ascendant at this time. Last but not least, Pluto will still be in Capricorn, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Well, one way this may manifest some cases, if you're involved with the government, it might be covert government work, work of a very secretive nature as far as that goes. You might also be more secretive, more mysterious than usual regarding your philosophies, your religion, matters with higher education. It could also be about, in some cases, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I'm going to anyway. Could be about the actual or literal death of an in-law or a grandchild, or someone that might be prominent at a college, university, or religious congregation, a foreigner you may know well. Some cases this could be about death through traveling overseas or going to another country, but this could be rather isolated, and a lot of it is dependent on other transits and even progressions in a chart as far as that goes. It could also be about terrorism, perhaps affecting maybe you traveling abroad. There might be a fear connected with that because of maybe a terrorism risk. Could also be about dealing with power struggles with maybe people in religion, or even with in-laws or grandchildren at this time, or someone at a college someone you might know well at some college, university, or a foreigner. But at the same time, on a positive end, this could be also about doing something Pluto related as far as higher education goes, such as something with insurance, the astrology, the supernatural, the occult, psychology, psychiatry, doing work as a surgeon, or even a death profession such as a coroner, forensics, or even or mortician or funeral director. So anyway, or even and also nuclear physics could be another possibility because Pluto is associated with nuclear energy. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Taurus August 2019 horoscope forecast part 2 of 2. And stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Gemini August 2019 horoscope forecast part 1 of 2. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.